Hey everyone, welcome to Hand Gestures That Speak Louder Than Words. Today we're diving into a truly fascinating topic, the incredible world of nonverbal communication. It's all about those powerful messages our hands send without us even realizing it, in every single interaction.
Indeed. Our hands speak volumes, conveying unspoken thoughts, feelings, and intentions, often more clearly than any words ever could. It's a subtle yet incredibly impactful form of expression.
It's truly amazing, isn't it? How much we say without even opening our mouths. It makes you wonder what else is happening beneath the surface of our conversations.
Absolutely. And that brings us perfectly to the core idea of body language, particularly the extraordinary way our hands speak volumes without uttering a single word. It's a fundamental aspect of human interaction that's often overlooked.
I've noticed it, especially when people are really passionate about something, their hands just seem to take on a life of their own.
Precisely. Our hands are incredibly expressive tools, constantly transmitting messages, whether we're conscious of it or not. From subtle movements to grand gestures, they convey our emotions, our intentions, our confidence, and even our cultural background. It's a pervasive influence shaping how others perceive us and how we understand them. Think of it as a silent commentary running alongside our spoken words, often reinforcing them, but sometimes tellingly contradicting them. It sets the entire stage for effective, or indeed ineffective, communication.
So, moving on from the general idea, let's talk about some of those truly universal signals. The ones that almost everyone understands and which generally carry a really positive vibe.
Absolutely. It's quite remarkable how certain hand gestures transcend linguistic barriers and cultural nuances, at least to a significant extent, conveying optimism or accord.
Right? Like the classic thumbs up. If someone gives you a thumbs up, you instantly know they're saying good job, okay, or I approve. I remember once I was helping a friend move, and we finally got this ridiculously heavy sofa up 3 flights of stairs. We were both just panting, but we looked at each other and simultaneously gave a huge thumbs up. It was such a great feeling of accomplishment and mutual support without saying a word.
Indeed, it's a simple, effective affirmation. Another prime example would be the high five, that immediate, impactful gesture of shared success or celebration. You see it everywhere, from sports fields to business meetings after a successful pitch.
Oh, the high five. I love a good high five. It's so energetic and immediate. It just builds that instant connection and shared excitement. Whether you've just nailed a presentation or your team scored a goal, that physical contact, that shared moment, really reinforces camaraderie and positivity. It's like a mini burst of joy, isn't it? It just makes you feel good.
Precisely. These gestures foster a sense of belonging and agreement. They're powerful tools for immediate, unambiguous positive feedback in social interactions.
That's so true. It's fascinating how much our hands communicate. But speaking of understanding, I know that what's perfectly acceptable in one place can be completely misunderstood or even offensive somewhere else. It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Absolutely. This is where the tricky terrain of cultural differences comes into play. And it's a crucial aspect of nonverbal communication. A gesture that's entirely innocuous in your home country can inadvertently cause offense abroad, leading to all sorts of awkward situations.
Oh, I can only imagine. Do you have any classic examples of these cultural blunders?
I do indeed. Let's take the humble thumbs up, for instance. Here in the UK and in many Western countries, it signals approval or all good. Yet, if you were to use that same gesture in parts of the Middle East, West Africa, or even some South American countries like Brazil, it can be interpreted as highly offensive, akin to an obscene insult.
Wow, really? So something as simple as a thumbs up?
Precisely. Or consider the OK sign, forming a circle with your thumb and index finger. In the United States, it means OK or perfect. However, in Brazil, Germany, and again, parts of the Middle East, it's considered vulgar, implying something rather rude.
That's incredible. It highlights just how important it is to be aware.
It certainly does. And there's also the come here beckoning gesture, curling your index finger inwards. While common in Western cultures, in many Asian countries, it's considered extremely rude, often reserved for calling animals, or even associated with inviting someone to a fight. You really must be mindful when traveling. It's always best to observe local customs, or, when in doubt, avoid hand gestures altogether until you're sure of their meaning.
This is also fascinating, and it makes you wonder if there's actual science behind how much our hands really influence things. Are there studies that back this up?
Absolutely. There's a wealth of research on the subject. One classic example comes from social psychology, particularly studies on power posing. Researchers like Amy Cuddy have shown that adopting expansive, open postures, often involving arm and hand gestures, can actually change our physiology, reducing cortisol, the stress hormone, and increasing testosterone, associated with confidence.
So, just by making yourself big, even if you don't feel confident, you can actually become more confident. That's incredible.
Precisely. It's often referred to as faking it until you become it. Beyond self-perception, studies have also demonstrated how gestures impact others' perceptions of us. A speaker who uses appropriate, open hand gestures is generally perceived as more confident, credible, and persuasive than someone who keeps their hands still or hidden. It's a silent signal that conveys conviction.
That makes so much sense. I can totally picture how someone using their hands effectively would just draw you in more. It truly adds another layer to their message.
Indeed, and even in remote interactions like video calls, the visibility of hands can play a subtle but significant role in establishing trust and engagement. Our brains are hardwired to look for these nonverbal cues. Right, now that we've delved into the intricacies, let's turn our attention to how we can actually use this knowledge. What are some practical tips for mastering our own hand gestures to truly enhance our communication? And perhaps, how can we better interpret the cues from others?
Oh, I love this part. It's all about putting it into practice. One of the simplest yet most powerful things we can do is use open gestures. Think about it. Palms slightly open, arms uncrossed. It conveys honesty, approachability, and confidence. When your hands are visible, it tells people you have nothing to hide.
Precisely. It's a nonverbal invitation, isn't it? An open posture with visible hands can instantly put people at ease and make your message feel more transparent and trustworthy. Conversely, closed-off gestures, like hands tucked away or arms tightly folded, can inadvertently signal defensiveness or disinterest, even if that's not your intention.
Absolutely. And then there's mirroring, which is fascinating. It's not about mimicking someone exactly, but subtly reflecting their posture or gestures. If someone leans in, you might slightly lean in too. If they use a certain hand movement, you might echo it gently. It builds rapport subconsciously, making the other person feel more connected to you. It's like a silent, I'm with you.
Indeed. Mirroring, when done naturally and subtly, is a powerful tool for establishing empathy and connection. Our brains are hardwired to respond positively to similarity, and it can significantly enhance the flow of a conversation. It's about creating a harmonious, nonverbal environment.
Yes, and the final big tip is understanding context. A thumbs up is great in many places, but as we discussed earlier, it's not universal. You have to pay attention to who you're talking to and where you are. Is it a formal meeting or a casual chat with friends? The same gesture can have totally different meanings depending on the situation and culture.
That's perhaps the most crucial point. Without contextual awareness, even the most well-intended gestures can fall flat or even offend. Being observant and adaptable to the nonverbal landscape around you is key to effective communication. It's about being present and mindful of both your own body language and that of others.
Well, that brings us to the end of our fascinating discussion today. We've really delved into the profound importance of nonverbal communication, specifically how our hands speak volumes without uttering a single word. It truly underscores how much is conveyed beyond the spoken language.
Absolutely. From universal positive signals to the tricky waters of cultural differences, and even the science behind why these gestures matter, it's clear that understanding and consciously using our hands can dramatically enhance how we connect with others.
So, our big takeaway is to become more aware. Pay attention to your own hand gestures and those around you. You might be surprised by the unspoken power you uncover in your daily interactions. It's a whole world of communication waiting to be explored.